welcome back to the Rogue Wave podcast, presented by Rogue Matter. Join the movement, go rogue, roguematter.com. Now, Hassan actually alluded to it earlier. I actually do have a new issue of Sire coming out, and it is going to be a trade paperback. It's actually going to be a volume 3. It hits Kickstarter next week.
Don't worry, it's a cul-de-sac. So
no, it keeps going. I got 50 issues planned, baby. I just redesigned this costume. It's wonderful.
No, I'm the publisher, and I've just decided I'm just going to tell everybody it's a cul-de-sac.
SireStudiosInc.com. Sire, a superhero forced by his own costume to fight evil. If you like 90s style comic book superheroes set in real-world settings, this is the book for you. Very easy jumping on points. Again, go to SireStudiosInc.com/subscribe, and you will get a free Sire digital comic delivered right to your inbox so you can read it and get on board. So Kickstarter launching next Wednesday, January 27th. All right, we are back, and we're going to dive into the fun part of WandaVision. I like kind of the high level stuff, right? I prefer that sometimes to the generic YouTube stuff that you can find, or the generic podcasts that are like, oh, did you see that? Oh, did you see that? You know, oh, I'll give you my review. I think this was poor. No, we try to give you something a little deeper and a little bigger. That being said, we're also fans, and we kind of enjoy this kind of stuff. So the premise of WandaVision right now is that they are stuck. Wanda and Vision are stuck within a sitcom universe. There are, again, references.
We don't even know that.
Well, I'm telling you why. It's the impression. It's very Pleasantville-esque, where, color seems to be kind of infiltrating this world. Emma Caulfield. By the way, great to see Emma Caulfield back. I met her a couple times because she was a Wizard World guest many moons ago, and she is delightful and a wonderful person. So it was really nice to see.
It took a while before I realized that was her. Actually,
I did a double take because I was like, "Who is that?" And then I had to Google, and it's black and white too, so it makes it a little harder to kind of pick out who the actors and actresses are. So it was nice to see her popping up, a Buffy alum, and color protrudes the universe. She bleeds red. There's different instances where color kind of comes into it. It's got the sitcom vibe, but it's also got that like Clockwork Orangey, trippy, like, almost like a horror movie in a way. Especially like when the boss is choking at the end of that, episode 1, and everyone's kind of just like frozen there and not doing anything. And it looks like Deborah Jo Rupp's character from the actress from that 70s show is just like, you got to do something good. Like, instead of her actually doing something, when her husband is seemingly dying, she's just kind of like on repeat. She's like a broken record. It's got a creepy vibe to it, right?
Yeah, it's certainly abnormal. There's something wrong. You know, I don't know if I was creeped out, but there's definitely something's not right. Yeah.
Right. And so I was scouring the interwebs, seeing what people were thinking, who would be pulling the strings. I saw is either a comicbook.com, which, world-class website that is, or CBR.com. I don't remember which one I saw it on, but they were predicting Mephisto potentially as being the big bad that's pulling the strings. And I didn't quite get that vibe, but I guess knowing that this eventually feeds into Doctor Strange 2, like maybe. So I figured, because I know you love doing this, what is your prediction sure to go wrong? My prediction is not Mephisto, but I want to know, what is your prediction sure to go wrong? Like, who is the big bad that has seemingly, again, we've only seen 2 episodes, trapped them in a sitcom universe?
Assuming that they're trapped.
Right.
I don't know. I predict that she's the big bad. I think she's, whatever it is, she's doing it, and they're trying to get to her. Yeah. They're trying to snap her out of whatever her delusion is. Yeah. It might be my prediction, certain to be incorrect, is that there is no big bad. Really.
You wonder too.
Big bad.
What's that?
Grief is the big bad.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think Vision's alive?
I don't think so, because when the guy was choking, she had to tell him to do something about it.
Oh, I
so
like
he
that.
didn't have his own free will.
See, you say you don't like this, but that's very, very. I like that. Very astute of you. No, I'm just saying.
Thank you, Michael.
Do you think? Well, look, I like complimenting you. I'm not. It's not a backhanded.
It's not
compliment.
your compliment. It's how the compliment sounds. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, very good, Billy. That's really good, Billy. You ate all your pudding. You did. No. Look at you. You ate all your pudding.
No, I was genuinely impressed with that observation.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a brand new thing. We don't have a lot of new things. And the reason I don't technically like to do the predicting stuff is because now we're overcooking everything. And then you just want to watch it just to let it, you don't want to have to watch it like you're going to be tested on it. Now, I'm not talking about that's basically what we do. So it's kind of it's par for the course. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like an occupational hazard. But it's just like the idea of watching it just to cook on it. Like, I wonder what this means. It's like, it will reveal itself. Like, if it's any good, it will reveal itself.
Yeah.
And then just slowly, because I'm like watching a lot of other shows, and I won't go into depth about any of them. And people are coming up with and I don't know if it's because of COVID and because of the strange atmosphere that we are now living in. But people are like, well, this wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it. Like, that is new. That is a new attitude. That's the attitude we used to have in the old days when we watched it. Like, yeah, I know Bo and Luke just jumped over another, construction site that just happens to pop up in Hazard County this week, but I enjoy watching that. It doesn't need to make sense. I enjoy seeing that. And so now people are like, look, this isn't perfect, but I'm having a ball watching it. Right. And so that's fine. And I'm thinking, just like we're discovering that the internet is the culprit in a lot of, modern problems that we're having. This is another aspect of it. And whereas way more benign, it's not a problem. It's not a society problem. But this is another aspect of overinflating interactivity to the point where we have personal expectations. And then we don't involve ourselves, or we don't digest the material we're given as merely consumers. I'm not eating this food for nourishment. I'm eating it to test out the ambiance of the atmosphere of the setting that I'm sitting in.
Did you ever
used
to do that though? Did you ever used to read a comic and then talk to your friends and be like, "Gee, I wonder what's going to happen with this"? Like it has innocent beginnings. I mean, everyone used to.
It does. It's when it becomes industrialized that everything goes wrong, right? Like, you build a cabin in the woods, and that's quaint. But you get a company that chops all the woods down to keep building cabins. That's a problem, It's industry that makes everything kind of terrible. And we've turned this into a cottage industry. Not you and I. We're innocent. But people in our line of quote unquote line of work,
we're different than cottage industry. We don't do this. We do this because it's fun. Because I actually enjoyed. I would say it's a testament to WandaVision that I'm actually sitting there going, yeah, you know what? I actually agree with you in the big bad scenario, because we know this from the comics that something's not quite right. So you assume that the comics will be the groundwork, whether or not the MCU or Feige or the executive producers go the exact route we think they're going to go. We think the end result is going to be that Wanda is the big bad. We think Wanda is going to do things that eventually spill out into Doctor Strange 2, where she might not be the hero. But at the same time, I'm really excited to see how they get there. And I like the idea.
It's a selfish motivation, right? Because these companies love it. They love it. They love that we sit around thinking about this stuff. Nobody's complaining about it, that in the marketing rooms of these companies. It's merely a personal quirk of look, I just want to just enjoy it for what the heck it is. I don't want to see 50 people, a lot of whom have harebrained, ridiculously stupid ideas that either are so outlandish that they make what really happens boring,
right?
Or they are so close to the mark that it doesn't become a revelation anymore when you finally see it.
I agree. I mean, I try to stay away from too much predictions, but I do like talking about the show in this way because at the same time, I think that's if this show was delivered to you in a straightforward manner, I think it would be more about, there might not be a predictable twist or a predictable mystery to it, but obviously the whole show is kind of showing you that it's got some sort of twist to it, and so part of you sits there and goes, the fun is now saying, well, okay, what part of the comics that we've already kind of read and what characters from the comics are they going to use this as a vehicle to introduce? And that's something that I think is very important in terms of giving predictions. Not in the giving predictions, I don't even care about that, in the way it's discussed, because I think there really is, and Marvel's very good at this, and Disney in general, right? If you also kind of talk about Mandalorian and how they were able to keep, that surprise at the end kind of hidden, I feel like there is going to be something.
That's what I'm saying. Like imagine if everybody had been talking about that before you actually saw it.
Right.
Imagine that. Like imagine the revelation of Luke Skywalker, and you watching it and you're like, that is him. That's Luke, And then imagine if 3 weeks earlier someone said, and it's rumored that at the end of the season, Luke Skywalker will appear and save everyone.
I mean, if you wanted to find this, if you wanted to find that, you could have. There were definitely message boards. There were definitely Reddit chats. There were definitely.
I get it. I'm not talking about people shouldn't do it. I'm not saying that people shouldn't do it. I'm saying I don't understand wanting to do it. I don't get it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not condemning the practice. Right. I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense to me. Right. Because the experience is so much better when you're like, oh my God. This is happening.
Well, let me ask you a question though, and this is I like this. We're getting inside your head, which is a dark and scary place. So this is good.
Keep eating your pudding.
Episode 2 is over. Do you walk away? Do you just stop thinking about the show altogether, or have you thought about the show at all since you watched it?
I have not. I
have actually. I thought it was pretty good.
It has nothing to do with my. It's. I don't know what you would call it. Is it a Zen kind of patience? Like, it'll let me know what it's thinking. I have no idea what you would call it. Is it compelling? I think it is. I think it was. Yeah. I was compelled. I want to see more. It's not one of those shows because of the way the premise is right now. It's not one of those shows like, oh my God, I cannot wait to find out what happens next. Not yet. I don't feel that way yet. But it was more to me like, and then I'll admit my bias right away. I was interested.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like I can't wait to see this. It was more like the same interest I had in Infinity War. It wasn't more like I can't wait to see these guys in this epic film. My attitude from a storyteller standpoint was, man, I want to see how they pull this off. You know, because they've been promising this for 10 years. So I just want to see how you pull off a hat trick like this.
Right.
And so like with WandaVision, I've been hearing about it for over a year. You see some clips from it and you're like, that's interesting. Now the goodwill that MCU has garnered for itself means you're going to go into it with an open mind, right? Just like the same goodwill that the DCEU has not laid for themselves. So you don't go into their product with an open mind.
Right.
They were they had a reprieve with Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and seemingly because of the scuttlebutt right now, the Wonder Woman's kind of squandered that goodwill for that particular franchise. So maybe Aquaman still has it, but Wonder Woman is going to have to prove itself all over again.
Yep.
So the MCU has a lot of goodwill. So even though like an idea of, wow, 2 Avengers are going to be in I Love Lucy, is this really what's going to happen? Am I really going to sit down and watch this? And then you watch it, and it's just, I think to the credit of Paul Bettany and what's her name?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Also Elizabeth Olsen. I knew it was Olsen, but I couldn't remember the first name.
Just one of those Olsens. Ironically, neither of the twins, who are like just multi-billionaires from Full House, amazingly.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. The Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, I think to their credit, the show has so much charm.
Yeah.
That you're gonna sit still for this slow reveal of what's going on, this rollout. And they owe that to them.
Right.
I don't think there's anything particularly clever or crafty in the manner in which the story is being rolled out. I think you're just like, I like these people enough to stick around to find out what's going on with them.
Yeah. We also don't forget
that's why when it goes off, as you know, to answer your question, that's why when it ends, I'm like, all right, I'll be here next week, but I'm gonna leave it. You know, I'm not that compelled to decide. I know what's going on just yet.
One aspect of the show that did have me thinking this, though, and this is why I think they're trapped in something. They're trapped in some sort of world. It could be Wanda's head, but I don't think it is. I think it's some sort of physical place. Is that Geraldine is there. And who is Geraldine? It is actress Tiona Paris, who played Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel. So, you know, she's basically playing...
And she wouldn't be in Wanda's head.
Right. Right. And so these are little things. So when I got up, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's supposed to be Monica Rambeau. Okay. So, you know,
one of the Captain Marvels from the past.
Right. So again, yes, it does kind of it needs me to have the peripheral knowledge to know that the actress is playing the adult version of this character and she's going to be in it, blah, 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 for me to, kind of grab onto it a little bit. And even, the neighbor played by Catherine Hahn, we kind of know just based on the comics. I mean, having the peripheral knowledge helps in, enhancing the experience. But little things like that, got me thinking even after I pushed the off button.
Sometimes having the peripheral knowledge can hamper the experience because you're like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always an asset.
No, it's not. But in this case, I think it definitely is. Real quick,
from your perspective, I can understand why you would say that.
Yeah, we do this every week. All the rage in the pop culture world. Some quick news and notes. Rogue Rage. Chris Evans. So it's a little